Winners of the 2019 Sanlam Prizes for Youth Literature were recently announced, and author Toby Bennett also made the list and won silver in the English category for his The Music Box, the fantasy novel that follows the lives of Jonathan, a young boy with the gift of fixing almost anything, and his religious angry mother, Maribell, who are haunted by an incident that happened in their household. Now, without giving too much of the story away, let's bring in Toby Bennett, who is in our Seapoint studios in Cape Town, and we'll be chatting more about this book that he scored him a coveted literary prize. Toby, it's great to have you on the show this morning. Firstly, congratulations on scoring silver at the Sanlam U Literary Awards. What does this win mean to you?
Well, good morning and thanks. It means a lot. It's blown away. I've been writing for a while, a lot of sort of indie writing, and it's nice to actually get something out there that more people can see and hear about. You know.
Let's talk about Music Box. The Music Box. What's the book all about, and where did you find the inspiration behind this book?
Okay, well, it's the usual question when somebody says, what's the book about? And you've got a few sentences, there's 90,000 words there. But it's basically, one of the main themes is reality and perceptions of different realities. As you say, it's a fantasy novel, but at the same time, it sort of looks at how we look at issues of fantasies and other worlds, and how we fit in there. As far as inspiration goes, it started out as basically, ironically, the dialogue you'll find at the beginning of the book was a writing exercise, and what happened was as I went, I began to ask the question, who are these characters and what happened to them? So in some senses, it was as much a surprise to me as it is to the reader, I hope. But it's something you can read on many levels, is what I want to say. As you say, there's a spoiler I don't want to give away in here. Yes.
And was there much research that you had to do around this book, or was it more a matter of imagination and then you just trying to find that delicate balance where it would still, reflect reality?
Well, yes. I don't know how the sort of the research, I guess, is done in living. Because the theory of so you take the community in the book is Dowdale, and it's a place that's sort of on the edge of nowhere but could be anywhere. And the idea of it is that the questions of normality and what's reasonable are sort of very heightened there, and then this is echoed in the relationship between Maribell and her son. Things. So it's more about not so much research as observation, I'd say.
And let's, without giving really too much away, the main protagonist, of course, being John and his mother, Maribell. Won't you give us a sort of breakdown between the relationship that these two characters have with each other?
Okay, well, one of the things that is sort of a theme of the book is sort of, I don't want to say domestic strife rather than abuse, and it's sort of the love-hate relationship between the two characters, and the maintaining normality is kind of a theme of the book. So the sort of, you have sort of the mother she's desperately trying to be proper and right, and you have John, who has these gifts which should normally be a good thing, but she sort of framed it as a negative, as something that's scary and different. And the whole question of whether how we find gifts that other people might have scary to us, and that kind of thing. So that's the dynamic going on there, and also the fact that John really loves his mother, but is unable to relate. And as you get into the book, you'll understand why that might be, but again, I can't give that away too much.
And do you think it's actually possible to find that balance, just maybe taking it away from the story a little bit, but just in this life, for two people who believe in two different things, and who are battling with drawing the lines between the good and the bad, this conundrum that seems to exist. Is it possible for people that different to actually find a common ground?
Well, I hope so, because I mean, I'm always fond of saying, there's far more that we as human beings have in common than we have to separate us, and we often seem to focus on what separates us. But the truth is, there's so many more things that we can can find common ground, and I think that's also part of the story, is realizing, you know, those deeper connections.
And what would you like people to sort of walk away with, or what are some of the messages that you are sending to people who will be reading your book?
Well, I mean, I hope I've just given people a good time, would be my main thing. But I'd like them to think that would be, you know, sort of, you know, how are the things in, you know, how might things in my life that I take for granted, how is the perception that I have of the world, how might that be different through somebody else's eyes? And, you know, are the things that seem real to me necessarily as solid as I might think? So, you know, the think would be what I hope for.
Oh, fantastic, Toby. That's where we're going to have to leave it. This is definitely going to be one of my Christmas reads. It's such an exciting book. You absolutely write deliciously. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. We've just been in conversation with the winner of the Silver English Youth Literary Sanlam Award for 2019, Toby Bennett, and he was talking to us about his book titled The Music Box. Well, if you belong